Hello everyone, I am Chris Rogers from Mathnasium of Apex, and today I'm going to be showing you all how you can use a graphing calculator, whether it be a TI-83, TI-84, or any of those varieties, to graph functions and then use those functions to find minimums, maximums, and zeros inside of your calculator. Now, of course, knowing how to do them by hand is also very important, but this may be a faster alternative if you're just looking for the answer as quickly as possible. Now, we're going to start off with our scenario, which today, pretend that you are going to be in the PTO organizing a school dance. Now, in years past, they have learned that the profit that they can make off of the dance is a function of the tickets sold. And that is simply equal to negative 16t squared plus 800t minus 4,000. That minus 4,000 is going to be how much the initial cost of throwing the dance is, and that's going to give us our graph. Now, of course, whenever you're trying to plan something like this, you want to know how much money you can make off of it. So we are going to look for the maximum and what the break-even point is. How many tickets do you need to sell in order to make it worth throwing in the first place? So we're going to be looking for our break-even point, which you may already know that the break-even point, whenever you're dealing with real-world solutions, can also just be the zeros of the function itself. So first, we need to actually graph this equation. And to graph this equation, you simply go into your calculator. I have up my TI-84 emulator over here. And you just simply click y equals. So once you have y equals up, it will just have a list of tables of graphs. And right now, nothing should be in there. You may have already messed around with it a little yourself. And you just type in the function that you have over here. So we start off with negative 16. But here's the first problem that typically comes about. And that is what happens if you have a different letter other than x. And it doesn't matter. Whatever your independent variable is of the problem, it's just x in the calculator. It's just this x button over here, and then you just keep typing it like you would. So x squared plus 800x minus 4,000. And remember, all of these x's just correlate to the t's over there. It means the exact same thing in this context. And then you want to know what it looks like. So up here on the top right of your calculator, you will see a button that says graph, and it does just what it sounds like. It graphs it. But oh no, that doesn't look like a very good graph at all. But what we know is this is a massive graph. It is going to be very tall because we're dealing with the thousands of places. So we are going to need to zoom out to see the rest of the picture. To do that, there's a zoom button. In the middle here, you will click zoom, zoom out, and our graph is going to be mostly over to the right. Some graphs may be different. You may not know from looking at it initially, but you can go over to where the graph is going to be going over to and just click enter. And it's looking a little better. Now we can see the endpoints of our graph, but we're going to need to zoom out just a little bit more. So we can zoom out. We're going to move our cursor to where it's going to want to end up. Okay, it's getting a little better. So we can zoom out a little more. Up there. Okay, it's getting narrower and narrower. But this isn't helping us very much, because as you can see, it's getting narrower. So sometimes zooming will be a quicker option. Other times you can click window. And in here, it may seem scary at first, don't worry. You will have an x minimum value, an x maximum value, a y minimum value, a y maximum value, and other things that you aren't actually going to want to mess with at all. Now, for x minimum, we are dealing with the number of tickets sold, so we can't sell less than 0 tickets. Let's start with 0. And then let's choose an x maximum. That sounds a little high, but we can mess around with it later. And let's just make it 50. Sounds pretty good. Y minimum, well, we're dealing with the thousands of places, so we need at least that negative 4,000 to be our minimum. And then our Y maximum, we don't know how much money we can make off of this, but we know it's going to be thousands of times. So for this, let's try out 10,000 as our Y maximum. And what this does is it changes what is displayed on your graph whenever you're using it. So for example, 0 to 50, negative 4,000 to 10,000, Y scaling, X scaling, that doesn't really matter. And then you can click graph again, and I made myself a pretty good guess here because this is a nice parabola. This is a nice curve. You can see it pretty clearly. And again, you can adjust it as you see fit to make it as clean as you need to solve the problem. But we can clearly see a maximum. We can clearly see zeros. That's all that we're going to need today. But now we can go about finding it. So to find it, you're going to go and click second, and then calc, this blue calc here, or the trace button. And it will come up with calculate, and it will give you 7 options. Now, most of the time you're only going to be messing with the 0, minimum, maximum, and intersect functions whenever you get to those. But you can find the derivative and integral, or are you doing this at a higher level? But for today, we are trying to make money. We are trying to find that maximum value. So we go down into our maximum and just click enter. And now it's going to ask us for our left bound and our right bound. All that means is using the left and right arrow keys. Do not use up and down. It may mess up your graph. You just go over, just left of where that maximum value is. And you're going to click enter. Then it's going to ask for the right bound. You're going to do the exact same thing, just on the other side. You're going to go over to the right, just a little bit past that maximum, click enter again, and it's going to pop up and say guess. Sounds pretty good. So we're going to click enter again, and it gives us a maximum at 25 point a bunch of zeros and a 5. But it also gives us our Y value here of 6,000. Now, as we were going over earlier, X and T are interchangeable in this case. So whenever it says that T is equal to 25, that means that our maximum occurs whenever we sell 25 tickets. And our Y value is how much money we made off of them. So we made $6,000 if we managed to sell 25 tickets. But 25 may be high. We may only have like 10 people attend, and we want to know if it's worth it. So we're going to be looking for our break even. Now, for the break even of a function, to find its zeros, you go back into that calc menu, so second into calc, and it will say calculate. Oh, that says 0. Sounds like what we want. So 0, and once again, it's going to be asking for your left and right bound. Now, zeros are just where our graph crosses the x-axis. So instead of our left bound being at the top of our graph, we want the left bound to be over just to the left of where we cross the x-axis. But you may have already noticed we have 2 of these zeros. You find them each one at a time using this. Otherwise, if you try to put your left bound here and your right bound here, it may accidentally give you the wrong value. So to avoid this, we do them one at a time. Makes it easier on everybody. So left bound again, you want to go just left of where that value is happening. So go just to the left of it, and it's going to be just below the x-axis. Click enter. Right bound, you guessed it, just barely to the right or just above the x-axis. Enter, guess, enter, and then it will tell you that your break-even point is where you sell 5.6 tickets. But you can't sell half of a ticket. If you sold half tickets to a movie, you'd probably get kicked out halfway. That probably wouldn't work out very well. But you can just round that up and say the break-even point is going to be at 6 tickets. And if we sell more than 6 tickets, the dance is worth it. If we sell less, it's not worth it. But what does that second 0 represent? That second 0 represents where the cost of throwing the party is much higher than the amount of people that are in it is worth, because you have to rent out bigger and bigger spaces, you have to get more decorations, more food, whatever it may be. So we can actually find the most tickets we're allowed to sell before we start losing money by finding that second zero. So let's go ahead and do that just for a little more zeros practice. So again, second calc, 0, and you scroll all the way over to just to the left of where you cross that axis, click enter, then just to the right of where you cross that axis, click enter, enter again. And so the most tickets we can sell, because this time, remember, if we sell 44.3, we break even again. It's perfectly out. But if we sell up to that 45th ticket, we actually lose money. So that's not going to be our answer. We need to round down in this case because we can sell 44 tickets before we lose money on it. So we can here go over here and say when we lose money. And that happens anywhere that is greater than 44 tickets. And so that is how you are going to use your maximums and zeros on your calculator. In order to do minimums, you do it the exact same way, except instead of looking for the top of the graph, you're looking for the bottom of the graph. And again, you're going to have your left and right bounds, but mostly the process is going to stay the same. So I hope that everyone enjoyed this video, that you got something out of it, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.